Hey, Victoria.
Yeah.
We've got a really special show today.
Hello,
It's
guys.
the Quirky Quick Wins Show.
Oh, so am I going to be putting that as well?
Yeah, Quirky
Quick
Win
Win
Show.
Okay.
Oh, my God. So, everyone,
Yes.
my name is Mr. 2020, and we're doing a lot of cool things today.
Yes.
Got
What are we doing?
Got me a new car. We're going to talk about my new car.
Yes, that's a quirky quick win.
And we're going to talk about the new podcast. It's the old podcast repackaged, upgraded,
Yes.
and
With a brand new title.
and we got all kind of good shit for Victoria. All right.
It didn't share.
Well,
Okay.
I think it already did. So, Victoria, welcome to another exciting episode of Quirky Quick Wins with Victoria and 20.
Quirky quick wins.
That's right. Look at me.
On
I'm
the
quirky.
12th of July, 2024.
All right.
Right.
So I'm going to take
Okay.
these off.
Yeah, it's too many lights in your eyes.
Yes. All right.
Cool.
So we've got something really cool kicking off in just over, 10 days, something like that. Lisa
Yes.
and the Rock, welcome to the show. It's called, ready?
The Destiny Project.
Yes, it is. And it's all about destiny.
Yes.
Make sure you're on the email list because we're going to be sending out all kind of cool shit about it. And we'll be posting it elsewhere. But this is really cool. 4 group calls, all new shit. Private Facebook group, nice cool kids, and it's going to be gentle. It's not going to be like a lesson slamming through every day like Dream Driven Day. It's designed for summertime.
Hiya, Shanita.
So,
I haven't seen you in
Shanita,
a
welcome to the
while.
show.
And
So,
hello, Colby, as well as Lisa.
go to Dream Driven Day if you want to sign up, and
Yeah.
we'll be putting up more information as well. So,
Very cool.
all right.
Okay.
All right. So, Victoria.
Yes.
Today we're starting with 2 Neville Goddard quotes.
Are we?
Yes.
Where would I find them?
Oh, they're
today's never got.
they're right at
I
the
thought it was going to be because you bolded it. I thought it was someone's question.
Oh, no, it's to get your attention.
I've got it.
Yeah, because bold gets her attention. Can you get that she's not a subtle kind of girl? Like, radio. I walked into the room and definitely got some attention.
Okay.
Hey, there's my dog eating my
So
dog.
the 2 quotes from Neville.
All right.
So if you want to read along, look in the show notes because I'm not going to do all the.
Yeah, look in the show notes. That's all good.
Everything happens automatically. All that befalls you, all that is done by you, happens.
All right, so we got to get rid of some myths here. If you're going to have some fun, get rid of myths because we renamed the podcast The Power of Imagination because it's that simple, but you can explore it forever. But we're not going to wait for inspiration. All that you do, everything happens automatically. So you don't sit around waiting, is this inspired action or not? How could I tell? Yeah, that's called secondary cause. We call that bullshit. But let us continue.
Okay. The important thing to bear in mind is that you have infinite free will in choosing your assumptions, but no power to determine conditions and events.
All right, so I imagine being a happy, loving husband. Flew around the world, walked into a room. And the dance begins. So it started with a chance, a glance, and turned into a dance with romance.
He keeps adding another word.
Oh,
into
no.
it.
You started with adding words. It was
Well,
your
yeah,
fault.
I
Or
did
you
add
said
the chance.
you added chance, right? So don't blame me for everything in this world. We're only married, right?
La Nina, hello too.
La Nina.
Okay, sorry, La Nina. Yes. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say anything more about that?
No,
I can
I'll talk
go
more
on
later.
the
Yeah.
bit more of the quote.
Yeah.
So God speaks to you through the medium of your basic desires. Your basic desires are words of promise or prophecies that contain within themselves the plan and power of expression.
So the first episode in the new podcast, which will be like the 2,450th episode or whatever in the old podcast, right? We're diving into this into a really cool way because whenever you start activating destiny, you stop needing to plan. Your desire has its own plan and power of fulfillment. You don't need to plan everything. You don't need to figure everything out. You don't have to wait till everything is perfect according to your plan. Right? You get it? The desire, what is destined, has its own plan and power of fulfillment. You don't need to plan. You don't got to figure everything out. That's called hiding. But I digress. So, Victoria, let's dive into the questions. That's the setup.
Okay. Excellent. So, the first question today is from Super Sammy.
Super Sammy.
Slow manifesting help.
Mm-hmm.
And Sammy asks, my question to you would be, how to overcome when it seems the manifestation result is slow, and depending how to boost it all.
Right. So here's what's really cool. It can't be slow. It's always on time. We're going to talk today about, I'm going to make up a number. I'm going to say 77 minutes is what it took for me to manifest my car. It's not entirely accurate, but it's pretty damn close. Right, so we're just going to say it's 77 minutes because it fits the timeline, right? So, why would a manifestation seem slow? It would seem slow because you're denying that it has its own plan and power fulfillment. When you accept that your desire has its own plan and power fulfillment, when you accept a wish is fulfilled, you accept its plan and power of fulfillment. Neville says you can do nothing to help. Right? Your job is acceptance. As soon as you go, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to speed it up with more affirmations. Right? I'm going to speed it up with some photos and sticky tape.
Wasn't here yet. Let me do some more. Yeah, got you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, for a couple months now, right? So I took Abdullah to David Brown Mechanical, and I said, "What am I looking at mechanical? Right? Am I looking at 6 months or 2 years before I start putting money in?" And he told me, "Look, you're probably looking at about 6 months. You're going to need tires. You're going to need this. This would be nice too. At some point, you're going to want to do this." And I said, "So how do I look for the next 6 months?" And he goes, "You're fine with how you drive. Yeah. If you're driving to the city every day, I'd be a little worried about you. Yeah. But with I drive
5Ks a day.
5Ks a day, right? So it's like radio." He goes, "I'm not worried about you, but sooner or later."
Thanks, Dave.
So I start pondering, what do I want? And what keeps showing up is a Mercedes. I've never owned a Mercedes until yesterday, but more on that shortly.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. All right. Plan.
So
power.
That's it for Super Sammy.
Yeah, Super Sammy, stay tuned because we're going to continue to answer your question and more as we dive deeper into the show today. Cool. Beth is not like the rest.
Beth.
So I used to live at 52 Bethel Church Drive. God, I didn't know I knew the number. Anyway, I used to live at 52 Bethel Church Road, Bethel Church Road. Right? And so Bethel means home of God. Right? Now, I move around the world all this time. So I lived there on October 26, 1989, when I got the shit kicked out of me, beat to death, so on and so forth. October 26, 2010, I flew around the world to a penal colony. Right? Ended up landing in this place called Eltham.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, I thought you said Eltham was home of God.
Yes.
But you said Bethel was...
Yes. So Eltham, when you look up its etymology, basically means, Tham means village or perfection. Right? El means God. So I've landed in the village of perfection, right? Yeah. And what do we have here? We've got the she shed, we've got the cottage, we've got the house. It's like our own little village.
It is.
All right?
And I keep all the little lights on at night.
Go figure. And there's a book. Can you get the book, the Neville Goddard book that's over there? That's right. It should be up there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Out of This World. Okay. See, you can't plan shit. Right? Every desire has its own plan of power fulfillment. And as far as I can tell, whenever you buy into destiny, right, it just gets fun. Now, meanwhile, so a fella, I'm imagining a couple years ago, owning some Neville Goddard stuff, right?
Yes.
And everybody's getting Neville books and all that bullshit. I ended up manifesting the manuscript for the 5 lessons.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we have that, the original one.
Yeah.
Type stricken out, Neville wrote into things.
Handwritten on top. I know we'll put it this way. Yes.
So what we want to do is show them the inside of this book.
Yes.
Right? So this is Out of This World. You may or may not be able to read that, but it's signed by Neville, and it's
Neville's
from a
signature.
bookstore in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, where I lived at 52 Bethel Church Road.
But the bookstore wasn't.
Well, the bookstore was in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but it wasn't on Bethel Church Road.
But I can tell you exactly where the bookstore was.
Cool, babe.
Right? Anyway, and it's signed
He's
by
got
Neville.
Lovely, scrawly, lovely handwriting, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's just some miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't worry about when I was going to get the right thing, what the right thing was going to be, all that stuff. I just imagined something that fits my quirkiness. And I just don't want a
Yeah.
Neville Goddard signed book. I get a signed book from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania,
Yes.
where I lived on 52 Bethel Church Road, Bethel meaning home of God, when I got the shit kicked out of me. And then I flew around the world, same date, 2010, to end up in Eltham, right?
Yeah.
This little home village of God, perfection. But I digress.
Lovely.
All
yeah.
right.
And I'm glad you said that. Like, well, with the title of today's show, it is a Your Manifesting Questions Answered Live.
Yeah, it's
But
quirky
the
and
theme
quick.
Is, yes, quirky,
Yeah.
quick wins.
Yeah. Now, the
And that
funny
was-
thing is, so the quirky quick wins, I got both these things pretty quick. And they're quirky, right? I'm quirky. So,
He's very quirky.
yeah, now we're going to factor that in shortly.
Okay.
Let us continue, Victoria.
All right. So that was another good little bit for you, Super Sammy.
Super Sammy.
The next question is from...
Beth got married 1996 on 10/26. Right?
Oh.
Small world, ain't it? Right? So that would have been 7 years in. I was
And that was the date, was it?
yeah. Yeah, my date with destiny.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. The next question's from Remarkable Korrol. Which guidance do I listen to? ...
That's right.
And Korrol asks, when leading and being led, how do you know which guidance to listen to?
Cool. So let's go back to the first quote. That's it. We're going to make her work for this.
Everything happens automatically. All that befalls you, all that is done by you happens.
So my question always is, why? When people write and they say, well, you know, I'm feeling it real, all this stuff, I'm using affirmations. And I said, why? Right?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Right? I'm pulling down the road today. Right? I'm in her BMW. And there's a guy without a dog next to my fence picking something up. So I start watching him. Right? It's like, what's this?
What's he doing?
Right?
Yeah.
Why is he bent over? Why does he have a bag? Right? Turns out he's picking up some dog shit. He's just a do-gooder.
He's a good, yeah.
Right? But it gets my attention. So here's the thing. Why guidance? I don't get a damn thing for guidance. I haven't gotten guidance for years. What I have is access. So what we have is this awareness of being, awareness being going on. And when I open up, my attention goes where my attention goes. And so what I love with this first quote is, now let's go to the other quote. Everything happens automatically.
Okay.
Oh, that is the first quote. Everything happens automatically. When we get that everything happens automatically, you automatically have access to all that you need. So guidance, I could give a shit. In the worldly arena, what I notice is Lisa Trigg has helped me out tremendously because I have not 1,000 Kindle books. I have thousands. And I go through and I highlight shit, and sometimes I get back to it, sometimes I don't. But Lisa Trigg turned me on to this thing called Readwise, which supposedly randomly serves me things that I've highlighted from my thousands of Kindle books. And I can turn them into infographics, share them with you guys, save them for myself, whatever. And this is really cool shit for me because I'm never looking for guidance. Yeah, all I know is whatever I need falls in my lap. Everything happens automatically. All that I do, all that befalls me. We'll get to more details on my car purchase shortly.
Cool.
So let us continue. Great question,
Excellent.
Korrol.
Yeah, good one, Korrol.
By the way, how do I know which car to buy? Because I look on the Facebook and it's like, here's one that's pretty much what I might like, but I've never owned one of these, and I don't know the seller, and it's a dealer, and he's 20 minutes away, but he's got 20% shit reviews. It's like, oh, God. And then, here's something that looks really nice. It looks like a good deal, but it's an hour and a half away. Right. Which car do I pick?
Yeah.
Right. More shortly.
Cool.
All right.
The next question is from Remarkable Sarah. The revision decision.
Notice how these flow together. Notice how many people are in Remarkable. If you haven't joined us yet, join remarkable.com. That's the baseline to pretty much work with us at this point. You can do Manifesting Mastery course on your own, send us an update. You can get cool little products like identity-based manifesting, another backbone to all that we do. But if you want to play with us, join remarkable.com.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Remarkable Sarah says...
Remarkable Sarah says, yesterday, my home assistant was giving my son's fiancée the 3rd degree.
Oh.
She told me after the home assistant left. I revised immediately. Here's the question. Should I tell the home assistant, don't be invasive, mind your own business? Sounds like you, Sarah. No. If I revised, it never happened, I would say, let it go. What do you think?
Cool. So the state determines everything. I can determine the state I choose to inhabit. I've got infinite free will there, Neville says. You can accept or reject any state, concept, idea. There's no free will when it comes to doing. Now, when we notice that, because if I'll go back to Korrol's bit, right? So if I'm looking for guidance to determine what to do, we've just entered the head secondary cause, and it gets a little weird, right? On the other hand, Sarah's state is probably suggesting, right? So if she's, I would say let it go. Now, if she's nailed it, right? If she's nailed this, what needs to change, changed. Cool. Now, what's cool is she may or may not say something, but it, like Beth says, instantaneous and spontaneous.
All gone, Emmett.
Right? So whenever we allow ourselves to simply, whenever you inhabit a state, what's that first quote say again? What?
Everything happens automatically. All that befalls you, all that is done by you, happens.
Right. It gets so sweet and so simple. In other words, instead of any kind of planning, instead of having to seek anything to build into my planning, we go back to the second quote, it all has its own plan and power. So when I accept a wish is fulfilled, it's destined. Its plan power takes care of things. Steve says he can hear him at 3,000 miles away. I hear you, pal. Right? Now, I've got a new way of growling at him at night, and he just goes, shit. Right? Hey, my dad. It's really nice. So let's go back to the question.
So for Sarah...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have no idea. That's the cool thing. Because, you may find yourself saying something or find yourself saying nothing. The key is you will find yourself. Destiny draws you to it. Right? So we live in a world where everybody's push, persist. I'm determined. Right? And it always leads to doubt because you get tired from all that work. On the other hand, your destinies draw you to them. They draw you. When you're drawn to. So, that's Sarah's. What's next?
Yeah, because I was just thinking with Sarah's then, I guess, it's down to what's the imaginal act.
Yes.
And if it's, I don't know, like just, because I know I'd want my home assistant, but it doesn't have to be that home assistant. I want a peaceful, loving environment or something. I don't know what the imaginal act is.
By the way, read the quote. I just got a bonus quote there I put in.
Oh, okay.
That's from Readwise, by the way. Showed up randomly this morning. Right, I got Sarah's thing yesterday. This showed up this morning randomly. Right.
Okay. So
I think it was
the bonus quote is, you must take pleasure in revision. You can forgive others effectively only when you have a sincere desire to identify them with their ideal.
You know how cool that is? Yeah, it's your pleasure. It's your Father's good pleasure. It's pleasure. Right? So, here's what happens. What's next? Jason. How do I know if I've nailed it? Let's do that one. Then we'll do my story. Then we'll do Lisa and the Rocks.
All right. So, thank you, Sarah, for your question.
Continue to listen, Sarah. We will continue to answer your question before and after we've addressed it live on the show.
Yes. The next question is Jason from the Mod Squad. How do I know if I nailed it?
All right. That's it?
Well, he then asks, how do I know if I nailed it?
Yeah. How do I know if I've nailed it? This is so cool, isn't it? When you've nailed it, you experience the Sabbath. In other words, there's this experience of rest. You don't have to do nothing. Right? You'll find yourself. See, if you haven't ended the Sabbath, odds are you're going to have to work through a plan. What if not? Something else. Maybe you're going to have to gather some power, right? Eat a Snickers bar or something. Yeah. On the other hand, your desire has its own plan of power fulfillment. When you can accept the whole package, right? The desire, the plan, the power, fulfillment. And it's not relief of the problem.
Relief of possession.
It's the relief of possession. So here's what happens. So I'm talking to Victoria through the Ray-Ban glasses. I love the Ray-Ban glasses. You saw them at the beginning of the show, right?
Yeah.
I'm quirky as shit in them because I got clear glasses. They're not tinted, and they look like they're prescription, and they're not. I've got 20/20 vision, right? So I'm the guy that's always wearing glasses that doesn't need them. And I tell people, I wear my glasses so I can listen to my wife.
In my head.
In my head, right?
Yes.
So I'm just having a lot of fun, right? And so I'm talking to Victoria. So I leave the house. I call her at the roundabout. Somebody tries to kill me at the next one. Keep going, right? Life is good. I get to the pool. And there's a parking space close to the door. And in Australia, David Schwimmer was right. They're crazy here about getting parking spaces close to doors.
David Schwimmer said that.
Yeah. He was in The Secret, and his whole thing was like, I'm in the parking spaces close to the door. It's like radio.
You meant in Australia, like that he'd said in Australia there. But
no. He's just Australian, and he loves parking spaces, just like you. You do.
Yes.
You go nuts. Like you should see her. Like you got to put a diaper in the car. She starts leaking and stuff. But anyway, I seem to digress. No, she doesn't. So, the parking space closest to the building, I don't like. I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like it. And I tell her, I says, ooh, there's a parking space. I don't like it. That's how fast it's got to flow through you. So I keep driving the car, and at the far away, like in another galaxy far away, there's a parking space.
Same car park. Yes.
So I park there, and I get out of the car. And I continue to talk to Victoria through the Ray-Ban glasses because I love her, and I'm quirky as shit. I love my glasses, right? And I'm rolling through the parking lot, and this Mercedes catches my eye. I went, wow, look at this, right? So I told her, I said, I'm going to take me a walk around this, right? So I'm looking at it, and it's like radio. So this is pretty sweet. I'm just liking it. I like the way it looks. I like the way my belly feels. So I'm just liking it. And I see it's a CLK. I'm like, right, I'll try to remember that. Victoria?
Yeah, he tells me to remember it.
So I go into the center, and I hit the gym. I hit the pool. I'm in the pool, and I'm talking to a friend of mine. His name's Rod. And I'm talking to Rod about sourdough bread and balsamic vinegar. Because Rod and I talk about things like sourdough bread and balsamic vinegar, neither one which I currently eat, but he does. So we have our chat, and our chat is good. And in comes Jim. And Jim's an older fella. And he says, I just put 2 issues of the Mercedes magazine next to your bag. Have you found your new used car yet? Have you found your Mercedes?
Because he knew that 20 was looking for a Mercedes.
So I break off from Rod, and I'm talking with Jim, and Jim's telling me, what you want is get something around this class around 2004 is a really good year, and they last forever. And he's going on, and I'm like, cool, I'll try to remember that when I get home. That's going to happen, right? Victoria, right?
Yes.
So then I break away from Jim, and Rod's still walking, and Rod says, hey, 20, you got a minute? I says, sure, yeah, absolutely. Balsamic vinegar and sourdough bread. Right? So he goes, did I hear correctly that you were looking for a used BMW? I said, yeah. Do you have one? And he says, yeah. I said, all right. Do you want to sell it? He goes, I do. We're looking at picking up a new one, and so on and so forth. So I'm like, all right. He goes, let me know if you'd want to see it. I said, I'd love to see it. He goes, well, it's in the parking lot right now. Right? Have you made some connections? So I walk out. There it is sitting. Radio. Yeah. Let me know if you want to ever take it for a spin. I said, you move the drive around the block? He goes, yeah. So we drive around the block. And I said, sold. Right? Figure out what I'm paying you. Right? That fast. 77 minutes later. So I got a nice car. So yesterday, my other buddy comes in, John. And John is he's very brilliant, right? And so John tells me, he goes, yeah, well, so we're chatting. I says, John, I just picked up a new used car. He goes, oh, what'd you get? I said, I got a Mercedes. He goes, oh, wow. What kind, what year? And I told him, he goes, are you parked at the end of the parking lot? I said, yeah, that's me. I got the best parking space in Eltham, right? And he goes, your car captivated my attention when I got here.
Oh, so lovely. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And the cool thing is, he owns a 2004 Merc as well. He knows all the quirkiness about the cars. He knows where to get spare parts. He's an absolute guru, right? He's currently rebuilding something in his car that costs $6,000 to rebuild. If you send it out, he's doing it for $300.
Yeah.
Right?
Having fun.
Yeah, and he's having fun doing it. It's taken him a few weeks, but he's got nothing else to do. He's just a quirky, intelligent guy. So more on quirkiness in just a moment. Let's dive into Lisa Ann LaRock's question. And remember, 5Ks away. This is really important.
Yeah.
No love and trust.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Jason from the Mod Squad, for your question. And the last question today is from remarkable Lisa Ann LaRock.
That's right.
What do you want?
What do I want?
And Lisa asks, hello, 20 in Victoria.
Yo, Lisa.
And it looks like we've got a little quote from Neville now. It was the fall of 1933 in New York City that I approached Abdullah with a problem.
Side note, wouldn't it be cool if it was October 26th? But I appear to digress.
Yeah. He asked me one simple question. What do you want? We know it was to be in Barbados for Christmas. Thinking and viewing the world from that state moved Neville there in perfect timing. All was well. It seems well-being is wealth, which can only come from knowing what we want. Is knowing what we want the key to destiny? Thank you, Lisa.
Is there anything below that? All right. Cool. So, I know I wanted a Mercedes or a BMW, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm settling into Mercedes, but I still don't know what kind. I don't know anything about Mercedeses. All I know is what Jim tells me, and I've got a memory like Swiss cheese. And so, like, radio. And something miraculous happened. So I skip the first parking spot. I take the one furthest away. I'm walking back. I see the CLK. It catches my attention. I walk around it, and I realize something. Right? That's the kind of car I accept. Two-door, about that era. Right?
Law of acceptance.
The law of acceptance.
Yeah, right.
That's what I accept. Right? I'm no longer interested in Bimmers at all. I'm not interested in four doors at all. I'm not interested in what color. Could be black, could be gray, could be silver. I'm looking at it. I don't know it's that car. I don't know it's that guy. So what do I want? Besides all this, yeah. So I went from this generalness to specificness as far as what kind of Merc. Now, I'm a quirky guy. If I deny my quirkiness, quickness stops. And this is really worth writing down. Y'all know how far I go from home, right? 5Ks. That's it. Right? Anything beyond that, she's driving, and it's a day trip. Right?
Yes.
I just can't be bothered. I like being home. I like being able to get online. I like being able to get out in the garden. I like going to the pool. So I'm walking around the house, and I'm telling Victoria, you know what? I need to get a car that fits my quirkiness, right? It's got to be a reputable dealer or somebody who I know, love, and trust within 5Ks. Now, you notice I'm not making about the car. It's all about me. I love doing business with people who I know, love, and trust. I very rarely do coaching calls with people who I don't know. Right? I get to know them through ManifestingMasteryCourse.com, through Remarkable, through Dream Driven Day. And if a total stranger reaches out, I say, hey, why don't you do this first and email me a couple times? In other words, I'm interviewing them. Because I don't want to deal with people who I don't know, love, and trust. So, here we go. So, where does Rod live? Right up over the hill.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If we had to basically drive in a spiral to get to his house. It's, Montmorency, the roads are just weird.
But it's
Right?
like 3 minutes or so.
It's 3 minutes. It's less than
Yeah.
5Ks away driving the spiral.
Yeah.
Right? If I could climb the hill and go through a few people's yards and wave like Jerry and Mika, I could probably, it'd be much less than 5Ks.
Wave back.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
So it's a fascinating thing to me when, I'm not making about the speed of the manifestation. I'm letting it be about the quirkiness of me. Quirky me does what quirky me does. And that's how my car will show up. And so if we go from the top of the questions again, let's just scroll to the top.
For the quote? No.
Yep.
Okay.
Slow manifesting. I don't pick the timing. It was, I don't know, 2 months ago. I'll make up a time frame where I went to David Brown Mechanical and said, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
And so, as far as time frame, he goes, what are you looking for? It's a German, right? Not a Volkswagen, right? A real German car. And so the seed is planted generally. But the quirky me gets to sort of discover, what kind of car do I want? What are the circumstances I'll accept it in? I'm not being demanding. I'm noticing what's acceptable to me. What's acceptable to me is a fellow who's a people sorter who loves his car like his child. And so allowing myself to notice, what will I accept? You'll notice with Neville's win, by the way, Neville was excited that he was going third class. Abdullah didn't accept that. He slammed the door, right? So slow manifesting help, I could give a shit about the timing, right? I really could, about anything. I've got some cool shit that showed up this morning. It's like past 48 hours. Wow. So many things have come together in some new leveling up ways, and I don't care about the timing. I know it's always perfect timing. Just like meeting her, perfect timing. Just like her, buying this house, perfect timing. Which kinds to listen to? Don't need it. Yeah, in the worldly realms, it's a lot of fun. I would reframe this possibly to, how do you want to dance and who do you want to dance with? If I bounce down a little bit to Remarkable Sarah, the revision decision, isn't it cool that you don't got to determine it? Right? You don't got to determine nothing. You accept a state, and the state determines what's acceptable, what you will do. It's sort of like the whole myth of inspiration. Not a fan of inspiration at all, because you got to wait for something to inspire you. I'm a fan of amusement. Ready? This is, she's one of my muses. So are the puppies. So is the property, the house, Eltham. Right? I am a fan of muse. Music, my muse, amusement. If I'm waiting to be inspired, I have to be lifted up and cranked up and Tony Robbins. Falling in love with a muse? Wow. I get to fall in love with every one of these questions, or my muses. Let's keep going. Jason, how do I know if I nailed it? I love that you asked this, because this shows up constantly in the group. Jason's a new member of the Mod Squad. And when you've nailed it, I remember the first time I drove to Florida from Pennsylvania. It was like 20 hours or some godforsaken amount of time. I thought I could do it on one haul, right? I started to hallucinate elephants and shit. Right?
Yeah, I've done that once or twice.
So it's like, radio, we're pulling over, right? But I was destined to get to my destination. I wasn't hoping it would be there. I mean, that would be silly, wouldn't it?
Yes, I wonder if it would be there.
I'm in Pennsylvania. I've decided to go to Florida and visit my Uncle Homer. Right? So, so driving down the seaboard to go visit Uncle Homer. No, actually, no, it was another time. So driving down the seaboard, but it's like, do I imagine that Florida may or may not be there when I get there? Or maybe they just keep moving it around.
Yeah.
Right?
Or did it slip off the edge?
Did it slip off the edge, right? It's funny as hell. But Yeah, when the destiny is accepted. This new course is going to be a blast. I really, I invite you all, go to Dream Driven Day and join us. It's not Dream Driven Day, but that's where I put it because I'm too lazy to put up another website. So, and finally, Lisa Ann LaRock's question, what do you want? Yeah. One of the things that I notice, in Remarkable, one of the things this year that's showed up a lot are phrases and words that piss me off. Yeah, like imagination, desire, because people use these like, well, I'm going to give it to my imagination. No, you are your imagination. Well, I have this desire. I'd suggest that it's already a beginning. And there's some really interesting Neville Goddard quotes around all this stuff. But I notice when I take what do I want, and I move out of want and just go, right, what am I finding acceptable? Yeah, as acceptable in my life today, God, we're going to have a really good lunch. Right? I had no idea what lunch was. I just imagined something yummy. And is it going to be a yummy lunch with the variety pack that we got?
Yes, the variety pack.
Yeah, wait, tune in.
Yeah.
And so when we move from these phrases that everyone's using to, you know what, well-being is wealth. Yeah, well. Well. There's a richness here. Yeah. Where do you build a farm? Where is Eltham? Where is Bethel? There will be a well there. Because we need water. We can always go out and get food, but water's a daily. So what is acceptable to you? So, what is acceptable? And dreamdrivenday.com. Join us in the Destiny Project. So.
Very cool. And it really is the key to destiny.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
What do I accept?
Yeah, what do I accept?
Yeah.
It's the other word that I love is hunger. Right? I'm exploring what's for lunch today. And I start noticing, oh my God, they've got the absolute best fish in Australia, $28 a kilo.
Yeah.
It's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
They're giving it away.
And it's fresh and yum.
And it's fresh,
yeah.
right? It's not thawed.
Barramundi.
So it's like, oh my God, I'll get those.
Yep.
What else? Oh, I'll have some burgers with that and some prawns. And then I feel this urge. Go to the deli. It's not the deli in the store. It's another deli. It's a standalone deli. And I find myself going over to the deli and staring in the case. And the lady comes over and I said, you are going to make my wife's day.
Yeah.
Right? And I picked her up a little tiny quiche.
Yeah.
Yum.
To have with my fish. So
right?
Really, really good.
So it's this ability of acceptance, instantaneous, spontaneous acceptance.
Yeah, I accept it. Thank you.
Yeah, look at her. Yum.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool. Excellent. Babe.
So, Vic and Latoria.
Yes. So, what we want to know is tell us, once I get the card, what was your hashtag strawberry bit?
That's right.
And, I loved all your little quirky, quick wins
yes.
that you demonstrated. I really loved when you told me, we spoke a little bit about it before the show, I think, but how it's so easy to fall into the trap when you're sort of thinking, well, I've got a plot and plan and all of that.
Yep.
Instead, it just, all that befalls you, all that is done by you just happens.
Yes.
Like what, but your example of how some people think it's almost seems like a condition. Well, it's got to be close.
Yes.
But it's not, because that's what I accept. For me, I'm not prepared to travel 3 hours away to pick up a car or whatever. So that, to some people think it's a condition, but like whatever colour, it's whatever it is. Like, and as you saw that one, do you know what I mean? It's suddenly like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't condition by X amount of Ks, close, like, or the colour it is, or whether it's, this model or
nothing about the car.
Nothing about it. It was like, yeah, so it was, I really loved that distinction because I think that's where it's easy to fall prey to the conditioning it in other ways as well.
So let's talk about conditioning just for a second, right? So conditioning, okay, here's are the potential problems that I don't want to deal with, and these are the conditions for the car, versus, right, I'm quirky as hell. Right?
Yeah.
I just am. Right? And you know what happens? I get quick quirky wins. And we're all quirky. If you can, oh, there's my Yemet. There's my Yemet. We've had 2 dogs hand delivered to us.
Yeah.
We know people that have driven hours,
Yeah.
gone through 90-day background checks, right? Property checks to get dogs. We had 2 brought to us.
Yeah.
How fun is this? Lisa says, what you desired was delivered. Yes.
Yes.
To you.
Yeah.
It's your Father's good pleasure.
Yes.
Right?
To give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get, we've got 2 dogs and I've got 1 wife, and they're all quirky as shit.
Yeah.
Right? And they should be, because they all live with me. And it's my good pleasure to go, I'm not going to make her do my thing, but I get to go, wow, I can, it's my good pleasure to go get her a quiche. And then say, we could have prawns too. Prawns! This is how much fun you can have. What?
Excellent.
Quirky dog.
Was that your hashtag strawberry bits?
I think my hashtag strawberry bit, it's funny because for a couple days, I've known that the car story was going to weave its way into the show today. And I have no idea how. Yeah, the specifics, all that stuff. But your all questions should pop up, and I look at all your all questions like a couple minutes before the show. I get them all
Your
organized.
all questions.
Y'all have questions, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, this is going to be a blast noticing how it all weaves together. How'd we do?
Yeah.
And the whole Bethel and Eltham thing,
Yeah.
that all showed up this morning. Beth popped up on Messenger, and I was like, radio, let's have some fun with this, right?
Oops. Yeah.
Eltham, Bethel, Village, Home,
Yeah.
52 Bethel Church Road. That's right. Yeah, October 26th. Right?
Excellent.
You tell me there ain't a divine dance happening. That's the whole thing, ain't it? All right. That's my thing, the divine dance of destiny. See, sooner or later we'll rename the whole course that we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And we invite you to on the Divine Dance of Destiny at dreamdrivenday.com. June 24. What is June 24?
I thought June 24.
I bet just put up June 24. I don't know. We'll find out. Love you guys. Have a lovely day.
Yes.
And I'm going to have to go out to the Silver Bullet and get my bag. I still haven't, I put my bag in the boot.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
it's so good.
Cool.
All right. Love you guys. See ya.